Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approves conducting a study to improve the structure of General Tax Administration and increase of the capital of the Central Bank of Oman. The Supreme Council of Planning conducts various studies on increasing support regarding energy fields to offer best choices for consumers. And the Muscat First Instance Court indicts 3 people in the case of first package of the project of Muscat International Airport. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has received a cable of thanks from custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of Her Royal Highness Princess Mashail bin Khalid bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Majesty the Sultan also received a cable of greetings from His Excellency President Dr. Hassan Rouhani of Iran in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on the new Iranian year, Nowruz festival. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approved carrying out a study to improve the structure of General Tax Administration and upgrading efficiency of tax procurement. The Council also approved the proposed increase of the capital of Central Bank of Oman, meant to boost its assets and cash reserves, as well as alternatives of financing the investment cost of improving Sohar Petroleum Refinery project. The Council further reviewed the report concerning sustainability of the general expenses and expansion of non-oil revenue base, in addition to supporting the ability of the national economy to face possible risks resulted from any drop in oil international prices. It also discussed investment strategy and management of reserves forwarded from the State's General Reserve Fund, as well as the operational results of Oman Oil Company and its future investment plans. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Darwish bin Ismail Al-Blushi, Minister responsible for Financial Affairs and Deputy President of the Council. The Oman Conference for Efficiency and Electricity and Water Preservation was organized by Public Authority for Electricity and Water under the auspices of His Excellency Talal bin Sulaiman Al-Rahbi, Secretary General of Supreme Council for Planning. Discussed a number of topics, namely infrastructure of electricity and water sectors and diversification of energy resources. It also focused on the authorities' plans to develop electricity sector as well as increase awareness on water and energy consumption. The Sultanate conducted studies on usage of solar and wind energy, in addition to the government's plan to benefit from such energy resources in the future. The Chief Guest stated that the Supreme Council for Planning currently conducting various studies on increasing support regarding energy field so as to offer best choices for consumers. He added that the government provides support for investment in this field and studies on methods and alternatives for targeted sectors. Preparations of academic, administrative and financial draft laws and executive regulations for Agial College for Science and Craft Industries and Traditional Occupations topped matters agreed at the meeting of the main committee of the college. It was presided over by Her Excellency Sheikha Aisha bint Khalfan Asiyabia, Chairperson of Public Authority for Craft Industries. The committee approved names of international academic institutions of relations to craft industries and traditional occupations due to be visited to acquaint with their experiences in this regard. Muscat First Instance Court today indicted one of the owners of the Omani Consolidated Contracting Company and sentenced him to 3 years imprisonment and a fine worth 800,000 Omani Riyals in the case of first package of the project of Muscat International Airport, which dates to 2009. The court also sentenced the former Undersecretary of the Ministry of Transport and Communications for Civil Aviation Affairs to 3 years imprisonment and fine worth 1,200,000 Omani Riyals. and layoff from position for 30 years. The court also indicted Director General of Omani Consolidated Contracting Company of 3 years imprisonment, of which 6 months will be served, and fine worth 400,000 Omani riyals, and to be deported from the country after implementing the verdict. More than 144,000 people visited the museums of the Sultanate. This was announced within the Sultanate's celebrations of World Museum Day, which falls on the 18th of May every year. A ceremony was held in this occasion under the auspices of His Highness Sayyid Fatih bin Fahar Al Said. The celebration accompanied by a workshop where the local society contribute to find connections between the generations and their inherited culture. Still to come in our news bulletin, the Indonesian island of Sumba hopes to spark green power revolution. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. With various shows narrated cultures and arts of nations, the Royal Opera House, Muscat, announced at a press conference about shows of the 5th season 2014-2015, which will be open next September. The new season will include more than 50 shows, such as Arabic ceremony, opera shows like Cinderella, Macbeth, and Molensko, in addition to ballets. It will also include musical concerts such as guitar legend Maestro Riccardo Muti, in addition to 14 world and jazz shows. At the level of social initiatives, Royal Opera House Muscat worked on providing training opportunities and achieved social communications through giving opportunities for youths to get acquainted with musical equipment and training programs. Represented by the Ministry of Education, the Sultanate obtained the 2nd and 3rd places in the competition of Kuwait Scientific Invention for Girls. The two students, Fatma bin Hamid Al-Jahwariya and Sarah bin Salim Al-Jahwariya, won the 2nd place on Consume Paper Umbrella Project, whereas Muna bint Hamoud Al-Azriya and Al-Anud bint Isa Al-Afiya won the 3rd place on Impact of Frankincense on Reducing Bacteria Growth. The competition, which started in 1999, aims to support and encourage projects of winning students. Muscat Securities Markets General Index today added 10 points, comprising a rise by 0.15% to close at around 6744 points. The trading value stood at 6.19 million Omani riyals, comprising a rise by 37% compared to the last session. The report released by MSM pointed out that the market value rose by 0.14% to reach about 14.20 billion Omani riyals. The report added that the value of shares bought by non-Omani investors reached more than 1.3 million Omani riyals. The value of shares sold by non-Omani investors reached more than 1.4 million Omani riyals. With the aim to limit the traffic accidents, Youth Forum and Exhibition for Traffic Awareness reviewed the importance of following traffic systems and rules. The forum, which was organized by a group of youth from Al-Ma'mur village in the Wilayat of Bahla, witnessed an active community anticipation. Organizing such forums reflects the social responsibilities for the Omani youths to spreading awareness to limit the traffic accidents, in addition to invite various social sectors to contribute in this field. The first work paper highlighted the reasons of accidents and the family and society's responsibility to stick to the traffic rules, as well as reviewing the statistics of the last 2 years, highlighting the effects of Royal Oman Police in limiting the traffic accidents. On the remote Indonesian island of Sumba, communities are harnessing energy from the sun, wind and rivers in a bid to go 100% renewable. More details in the following report.
They don't have much light, but it's a lot more than they used to on the Indonesian island of Sumba. 300 homes in this village now have access to 24-hour electricity, thanks to a small hydroelectric generator in a river nearby.
With electricity, so much has changed. The kids can study at night and I can weave baskets or mats like this one.
Indonesia is the world's 4th most populous country. Spread over 17,000 islands, it struggles to fuel its fast-growing economy and is listed as one of the region's worst electrified nations. The government hopes to use renewable sources to help increase electricity capacity by 60 gigawatts over the next 10 years. But communities on this remote island are aiming even higher.
We love to see that in 2025, the people on Sumba access to 100% from renewable energy.
The sun, wind, and rivers are not the only power sources here. Methane gas from pig dung is now being used for cooking. And the waste can be sold as fertilizer after its use, another source of income for people here.
It's helped us save a lot. Before we started using biogas, we had to buy oil and wood for cooking. If we work it out, we used to use 2 liters of oil a day to run the household. So in the 2 years we've been using biogas, we've saved more than 6 million rupiah.
That's about $500, a significant sum for this island of mostly subsistence farmers and fishermen. Small-scale projects won't provide enough power to close Indonesia's energy gap, but it's hoped they will spread across the country's islands, showing the world what renewable energy can do.
Soldiers, police and volunteers battled to protect power plants in Serbia from rising flood waters today as the deathtoll from the Balkan region's worst rainfall in more than a century reached 35. Prime Minister Aleksandar Vučić and Serbian search and rescue teams have found 12 bodies in the flood-stricken town of Brenovac near Belgrade. The coal mine supplying the largest power plant in Serbia remained underwater today. More than 20,000 Serbs have been forced to flee their homes. In Bosnia, 19 people were confirmed dead by yesterday, with 9 bodies recovered from the northeastern town of Doboj after what the regional police chief described as a tsunami of water 3 to 4 meters high. In Croatia, the government said 1 person had died and 2 were missing in flooded Sava River villages in the eastern corner of the country near Bosnia and Serbia. The army used amphibious vehicles to help evacuate some 3,000 people. And now for the general weather forecast. Clear skies prevail over the southern with chances of dust-raising winds at open places and possibilities of low clouds and fog over parts of the southeastern coastal areas. Winds over parts of the coastal areas overlooking Sea of Oman will be northeasterly light to moderate, while it will be westerly moderate to active along the southeastern coastal areas. Seas along the coast will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 3 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Financial Affairs and Energy Resources Council approves conducting a study to improve the structure of General Tax Administration and increase of the capital of Central Bank of Oman. The Supreme Council for Planning conducts various studies on increasing support regarding energy field to offer best choices for consumers. And Muscat First Instance Court indicts 3 people in the case of first package of the project of Muscat International Airports. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for watching. Good night.